What's the mighty good word? Party folk. It's your model high priest. I'm up here on Venus's day. It's Friday, February 2nd. Good tidings. It's an honor to have you here. This message is for the Scorpio Sun Moon Rising Collective. Y'all, what's good? Scorpio Queens, Scorpio Kings. What's poppin', eh? The sun, can you believe it, is halfway through. We're almost halfway through its Aquarius transit. The moon will not hit the new moon until about a week, so that means we are in the last quarter moon phase, which is in Scorpio. The moon is currently in Scorpio. So making those trines with Neptune and Saturn, figuring out what's an illusion, what's delusion, and what's real work, what's real versus what's not, right? There's an element of faking it till you are making it. So that may be where you are coming from. There's a departure from that. Wow, yeah. A little bit of order. I have been meditating on the Mercury card from the well-known Oracle, the Eight of Pentacles from the Tarot. This is from the Radiant Wilds, and the Magician from the Major Arcana from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is it's wild to me, Scorpio. So let's just get down and dirty with it, right? As you Scorpions love to do, right? Yeah. I love y'all. Let's see. Yeah, let's just jump into it. Scorpion magicians, you are here. Scorpion high priest, high priestesses, Scorpion kings, and Scorpion queens is your highest royal, most underworld court. Mercury conjoining the heavens for you. I am your effervescent, fleeting, funny looking gesture with your divine messages for your spiritual exaltation and human evolution. I just wrapped up the collective message for the last quarter moon. So I highly suggest that one. I highly recommend that one because there's a lot of scorpionic nature to it. And so it's really interesting to have the magician here, because we're coming into this Pluto in Aquarius energy, Pluto having entered Aquarius last week. So it is about, there's this like decision or deciphering between how much you give to yourself versus how much you give to others, and vice versa, how much you give to work and to yourself. So those are the themes. The reason I mention the fake it to make it, there's a lot of good that can come out of that in a society that prioritizes work and performance. And then on the other hand, there is a shadow aspect or element when you are portraying a smile, but inside there's turmoil, okay? With the Mercury card, I am being led to advise you to watch how your communication, your words, and also not to sign anything yet until everything is solidified. February will be very wavy in that Neptune sort of rules over the sky at the moment. And so it's more so determining what's fake, what's an illusion, what's not real. And then having the patience to wait to sign on the dotted line. Other messages that are coming through is like like you could have recently adopted, or you're thinking about adoption. Again, don't sign until the illusion becomes solid, if and when the thought becomes real, right? And so with the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles, you're very passionate, you're highly spiritualized. You could also be communicating with spirit. You could be very in this spiritual moment, or you could be working on spiritual development, or you could be a spiritual teacher and leader, or you could be perceived as such, regardless of your line of work. Although I do get a lot of like teacher and parent, single parenthood, that sort of thing. A lot of messages like having to grow up fast, having to become an adult as a child, having to really hide, like protect your emotions by hiding them a lot, which has a lot of that has worked for you and it has allowed you to work. And so now it's taking that approach, how you shelled and protected your emotional state and elevated in a mental aspect. So it's sort of like this graduation moment. You've become so enlightened and heightened and accomplished a lot in a mental capacity, which translates into real work and real money, earning abundance. And then now you're actually looking, or it's suggested by spirit from your spirit guides that you tend to clearing out all that you've sort of layered in the mind, and then come into your emotional world and work on that. So all these pillars here, they're all these passions. Which ones are real? Like you could be feeling very spicy, very passionate, very romantic, or all those intimate words. But do you need to tend to that sort of thing? There's a lot to do with where the mind sits, and how many topics, how many subjects, how many people, how many relationships you're tending to. When you come home, are you still thinking about work? When you leave home, when you leave the home to work or to run your errands or such, are you thinking about what's at home? So what's before rushing out to build anew, because you are starting like a whole new, it's really giving me a whole new era of Scorpio too, where you've accomplished a lot and it has you've produced. So now it's about taking a different route to arrive at a different area of work. And that involves that emotional state and the mental state, because you're already onto the new. What is, so here's where the tricky part is, how being in the fake it till you make it, is that going to work? Being in the hiding your true emotions, is that going to work? You are being advised to look at how that worked for you and how much you produced and the result of that. Are you sort of beat up, run down? Do you feel disconnected? Do you feel when you're here, you're worried about what's over there? When you're over here, you're worried about what's over there? All of that is part of your manifestation. And so do you want to manifest more of that as you go into this new world? Okay, so this last quarter moon goes all the way back to November 2021. There was a point in August of 2022, and then a full moon in Taurus in May of 2023. Those are all sort of points along this last manifestation period for you. So you could have already come out of a lot of this, and you're on to the new. But again, before you're on to the new, what parts of that old you are not working anymore? And what about the relationship with yourself? How's that coming along, right? And I don't, by no means am I poking or prodding at you, Scorpio. These are all messages from Spirit, right? These are all channeled messages that God, Mercury, that's what they want me to ask of you, from you, to you, okay? I have here the wild animal or wild mystic oracle that I want to pull one from. What's gravy, Scorpio? It looks like you guys have accomplished a lot and like nothing is stopping you. How about that for a message? That was my personal message for you. reading the meditation, right? Thank you so much. Goddess Isis. There we go. Create. Okay. What are you weaving? What parts from the old you are being weaved into the new, and what should not be weaved into this new creation? Okay. You have work. Like, as I was saying, you've done the work, you've done beautiful work, and now you're on to the next. But now it's Spirit is asking you to do final releases, right? To before you actually like bust out the door and bust all the plans out and like hire a team, hire the new folks, fire the old folks. Like, before you teach the class, before you teach the audience, before you lead that seminar, before you become a parent, before you decide that you and your partner want to conceive a child, like, what parts of you have to be looked at, worked through, eliminated, or released, so that you can then move on to the next. There are so many things that you're either being bombarded by, or it's like, hey, Scorpio, look over there. No, look over there. Look at that sexy figure. Look at that sexy person. Look at that gold object. Like, or that's what people are doing to you, right? Like, hey, Scorpio, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, pay attention to me. Why or where does that disconnect happen? Where does it occur? Where does your mentality start to manifest into worrisome, into arrogance, or not laziness, but like feeling just tired, right? I have here the personal values oracle deck. Wow, commitment. We'll just leave that one out on the table. How about that, Scorpio? Yeah, make sure what you're committed to is clear, in not that you're not clear, focused, or centered, but there are things that linger, energetic, emotional aspects that you haven't let out, or like maybe you just need to burst out and laugh and kick back and say F it, like take care of yourself for the day, you know, like where have you not given yourself even any room to breathe? Where are you being led to this perfection where you're like, wait, like as an individual, none of us are perfect, but why are you being asked to be perfect? And then why do you perform for that, right? And those are all just examples. Regardless of whether you are a perfectionist or not, like you do great work, right? Eight of Pentacles, the work card, Mercury twice, the Magician, like you've done your whole journey and now you're back at the new and you're already busting out the door, like I said, okay? Sacred union, baby. You're telling me you are committed to work in the spiritual realm. I love this card. Okay, so I added some to my personal deck here, but this deck does come from research based out of New Mexico, the University of New Mexico, psychologists and research scientists, amongst a few. They developed the personal values card sort that's mostly used in settings like talk therapy to determine where you're placing a lot of value or what you're placing a lot of importance on, where your focus is going as you move through time, right? So I've added a few more. But you are committed to spiritualization, spiritualizing, spiritual development. Okay, so again, who are you listening to in that case? Like Neptune is gonna try to trick you, right? Like they're gonna but like one of the things that I see is like sacred union, it, as the Magician says, as within so without, right? So it's first coming into that divine union within you, tending to your masculine aspects and tending to your feminine aspects, and then bridging the gap. So you're there, you're the Magician, you're giving me Magician, you're giving me Mercury, you're giving me up and down the tree of life. Mercury goes down into the underworld and then goes up and down, right? So where you have become very dependent on that flow, now it is more coming into balance. So it's not so much up and down. It's like grounding, committed to you, to yourself, like, and only you can honor you the way that you truly are, right? If that makes any sense to you. Wow, authority. Yeah, you are seen as an authority. And Mercury is the authority. Like you are, so yes, again, be careful how you wield all that power, right? You're seen as very dependable and you're committed to being regarded as dependable and helpful. So yes, a lot of Virgo in the mix as well as Libra and Saturn. Okay. A lot of Aries, like I mentioned, a lot of passion coming from you, a lot of fiery sexuality, intimacy, desire. I don't know if that's going to I don't know if that's going to serve you much, right? Unless it's unless those are good relationships for you. So, do as you will, but there's a reason why the collective is so fired up right now. There's a reason why you're attracted to what you're attracted to right now. It's meant to inspire you to honor how you're changing, right? And how your focus really kind of drives, that like symbiotic, catalytic, like, oh, I want that. So then it like changes your mind when you declare that you want something. Like you like, especially, I don't know why I'm getting like Scorpio, you internally like chemically rewire to get what you desire. And that's a main message here. Okay, how can you come into first determining what you want before claiming that you want it, before exclaiming that you want it, and then before actually going out to like bust a bunch of work out to get it right? Are you honoring you, all the aspects of you, dark, light, feminine, masculine, regardless of your identity, okay? Regardless of age. I'm also getting that you're working a lot at night, or maybe your job is overnight sort of thing. But it could be that, like, if you're not getting that rest, it's imperative or really advised that you do that, because like you're getting the downloads, and then you don't want to rush to go sign the dotted line, because not everything you're seeing, hearing, or tending to is real, right? A lot of it is just supposed or very new. It hasn't become anything in reality. And maybe you're being told that when you sign, then it'll become real. But actually, first you have to see it, believe it, and then you sign the dotted line, right? So I have here the King of Pentacles in reverse, and then I have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So again, before you rush out, try to, if you will, please look at all aspects, shadow and light, and what your independence means to you, who you are as a independent figure. Maybe you're trying to do everything like you normally have done everything, but because of the energetics in the sky, because of the change in the mind and in the circadian sort of rhythmic pulse, you are the collective, not just Scorpios. All of us are being asked to really define ourselves first before we commit to a plan of action, and then before we take the actions, right? So that's your main challenge right now. Like, you're always on the go, Scorpio. You're always needed somewhere. You're always being requested. You're always required to have so much energy. You're required to give so much. You're required to give people. You're even sometimes required to help others determine what they value. And you're like, when you're just a human being yourself, like. So it's really taking more time to determine your new values, right? Like, you're committing to authority. You're still very committed to being seen as dependable and helpful. But are you being that to yourself? Okay. And this is despite or besides the show you run, the whole family, the team, like everyone besides everyone, right? Like, are you able to depend on yourself, on your authority, on your emotional authority? Are you committed to yourself in that manner, right? Goddess Isis, Sun God Ra, Angels of the Highest Light. You're flying out, okay? Aries, Taurus, Venus, and Virgo. So much Goddess Isis. And we have the High Priestess, the Moon. Again, there are some non-grounded, non-established items that you're not to commit to yet. Okay, that's just the kind of warning from these Mercury cards and from the High Priestess card. Let's see. Oh wow, yeah. I mean, you're committed to spirituality, to a new redefining. You're on to a new, you're doing something new. You're establishing like a new order, new organization, you're like, yeah, you're a teacher. Even if you don't teach per se, you're still teaching people. So like now you've taken that time out to kind of establish what that means to you, how you really kind of help others, right? And then it was really you taking the time out to receive the word of God, to receive some rest, to receive those messages. But again, okay, well, maybe now I'm backtracking a little bit. Like, well, no, because I was saying like Neptune maybe inundating you with messages now. Okay, so be wary of that. Like, there are a lot of messages that you're getting that you have to kind of sift through. So not all of them are actually meant for you to commit to, right? That seems to be the resounding message. And then I'm going to pause. Okay, I'm back. I was just letting that freaking emergency vehicle run through. I know, like right now, you're thinking about the balance, okay? Like, remember earlier I was mentioning up and down, like feeling the emotional highs, emotional lows, like burnout periods, heightened, hyper productive periods. Like now it's like, wow, I can't, like, I'm not going to do that. That's great, Scorpio. Like, you've talked to God, like you've been talking to God. You are in that kind of realm. So yeah, you're ready to take on something new. But again, before you rush out, like, are some of these just passions that don't really have any substance to them? More Taurus. You could have a moon in Taurus and then moon in Sagittarius here. So a lot of lunar energy coming from the tarot, whereas from these messages over here, it's a little bit more of that masculine solar form, like from the ethereal to the form, from the top of the tree to the bottom of the tree to the middle of the tree, like all over the place. Like, remember, you picked up energies along the way. Which one of those energies, and there could be a cumulative group of energies that are like, gotta go. Like, you don't need to battle that many projects. You don't need to take on that many projects. You don't need to take on everyone's work for them. And it could just be that time, like give some of these folk the like time, because you're like sort of doing the work for them, right? Like, so that's more work for you. I mean, really, right? But like, in this time right now, you're like trying to take on something else, Scorpio. We have the other 7 of Wands. right now. Yeah, you're like ready to fight. So then it goes from like a very spiritually motivated, let me work through, let me actually go inward, let me work through the shadow, the let me get this, let me release. But then on in the three-dimensional your world, you're like, okay, more. I'm ready to take that on. I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to run over here, run over there. Like, is that gonna cause you to again manifest in the same way that you've been manifesting, where it then causes like your mind to like spin out and then you don't feel worthy? And even if you're like, this is what I'm getting, like someone who doesn't feel worthy or like that they bring that much value, when you lead groups, when you like own a home and drive cars, and like why, like, you know. And I understand that the material world isn't the end all be all, and so maybe that's the message, is like, why be so quick to manifest when you still feel a little bit like let down even by your own work in a way. Thank you so much. It's really looking at whether your passions are grounded in a individual sense of what you value, and then just letting it out, right? But not the other way around, like doing the work that others value, because that then brings more, or that means more for you, right? So nothing wrong, right, with helping, with being dependable. But you are telling me you're taking on a lot of others' work for them, okay? And so maybe that's the part where it like doesn't allow you to really bask in your treasures and like what you've amounted and all the work you've done. So I have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse once again. That's you right now. You're like tending to everyone. You're back at it. I have the Six of Pentacles once again. You are seen as the one that people go to. You're like the giver, okay? People want from you. And so it's really coming into, I feel, that authority, okay? So that you're not living in this illusion that you have to do everything for everyone, on top of all the work that you do for you, for your children, for your, just for yourself, really. Neptunian, Piscean, Scorpionic card right here. Like a lot. There's a lot. There are some things that you don't need to tend to. And I know you're kind of a little fearful of really looking at those things, because it's going to cause this, right? It's going to cause you to make lots of decisions. It's going to cause you to give up on some work that is not meaningful so that you can move on. Okay. The Eight of Cups never looks so good. So like, don't be led down an illusionary path, because that will definitely keep you stuck, right? That'll definitely just recycle you back into like that state of like, well, I guess this is how I do things. I guess this is the only way. Can we get more clarity on the Nine of Pentacles, please? A Nine of Cups. Yeah, it has that quality of like you gaining a lot, doing a lot for others, feeling like a temporary satisfaction out of it, but then ultimately it reintroduces you into this same mental exhaustion, burnout, right? Can we get more clarity on the Seven of Cups? Thank you for this, Isis. Sangara. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So some of these are only temporary fixes. Some of these are only temporary feelings of satisfaction, right? Ultimately, it always leaves you feeling left out, and it leaves you feeling like no one really, it's giving me like no one appreciates you. And then it feels like you then start feeling like people are taking from you, like they're stealing from you, right? Can we get more clarity on the Eight of Cups, please? Wow, the Moon and the Devil. You need to love you, treat you well, love you like you love your children, like you love your work, okay? In a very light-hearted way, okay? Treat you, again, you're worthy. That message comes up a lot for Scorpio as of late. You are worth it. Don't sign the dotted line yet. There's a lot of confusion. As long as you maintain posterity and like your authority, you will come out victorious. But it's not just that you want to come out victorious. It's that you actually want to do this work of like getting the F on with it. Start asking the folks to actually produce so that you can see the vision where you're going to sign off. Otherwise, you're not meant to sign off. Because why? Because it's this crap here, this feeling of threat and like, yeah, like someone trying to take from you, right? Someone trying to take from you for their own victory. Walk away, move away from that. Leave that crap out of your mind, okay? So now we're going to look at the B. Is it the... It's just B, not honeybee. So it represents hard work, focus, and industry. The B card focuses on the goal itself. It represents effort toward a pleasant outcome or long overdue reward. However, the B's solar energy is focused on production, invention, and the job at hand. Because it is associated with the sun, okay? The Egyptians believe sun god Ra created bees from his tears as they hit the sand. Honey has often been likened to gold or imbued with the power of the sun due to its color and its seemingly miraculous production by these amazing insects. We may view the bee card as symbolizing the fruits of labor and a rich, successful outcome. This card indicates financial and business success. It is industry at its most rewarding, and the sun shining down on your back as you toil. The shadow reading of the B card is lethargy, ennui, and stupor. It is the sun overshadowed. It is exhaustion felt when one has lost passion for a project or excitement for work. The shadow interpretation of the B card may tell you it is time to mix things up, change your perspective, or perhaps give up on the project altogether if it no longer brings you fulfillment. Element, air and fire. Flora, amaryllis, amber, cowslip, and mace. Stones, citrine, fluorite, sodalite, amazonite. Spellwork, new job, standing out from the crowd in a workplace, focus on the task at hand. Money magic, summer solstice, and summer rites. You're very well worth it, okay? Give up on what is exhausting and what is not real, and you can have your victory, okay? You don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay in that old. Your spirit is like way ahead of you, by the way. Look at this beautiful card here, Scorpio. Come on. Keep it so real, okay? I honor you. I honor your sacred union. I honor your sacred path. You gotta believe it to see it, and then you can sign the dotted line, right? Scorpio, keep it real. I'll be back with more messages.